big welcome to the second season of ESA Extreme Sport Action. And a massive welcome to the second season here from yours truly. You're probably thinking to yourself, hang on a second, who is this white guy and what happened to the good-looking brother that used to be on this show? Well, I can tell you, I was on last season, and you may have caught me on last season as well as part of the interviewees as opposed to the interviewer. I am the new presenter. My name is Greg Maloney. I'm known as the voice of choice here in South Africa, and I'm looking forward to bringing you all of the action in this season of ESA. Remember to check out all of our live stream and, of course, all our social media handles, because we're live streaming not only on ESA TV, but on Vision View TV, and we go live as well on Ignition, channel 189 DSTV. All of our social media handles are up there as well, with Twitter, with social media, and of course with Facebook and Instagram. Make sure you check out all those handles and give them a like and follow. Up next is the events that are happening. Let's go and find out what happened over the last couple of months. Husqvarna Billy Bolt was the man who took the inaugural Abstone FIM Hard Enduro Championship as they kicked things off for the 2021 season. An incredible outing for the World Enduro Championships. The Hard World Enduro Championships, arguably one of the hardest events in the world of motorcycle racing. Let's go and check out the highlights.
Things considered, third place, got to be happy with that. I was struggling first lap, it was straight into the river and I just got a bit pumped up. I felt more tired on the first lap than the second, so I'm ready for another lap, just warming up.
A little bit bummed, yeah, for sure, but I think it was still a really good start into the season, you know, like second, and I think we made a big gap to the third place. I think that was kind of a good thing, you know just how to know where you're at, and I think me and Billy were definitely on a really high pace this year, so it's going to be a long year, I guess, and some good racing going on.
Can't really complain. Three races, 3 wins. Also coming like from the guys, I know it was kind of a, you could say, enduro cross race. So it was when I was supposed to be. I think a lot of people thought I only kind of won because it was an enduro cross race, but you know I was ready for the rivers. I was ready for the extreme race. At least now I can show that I'm ready to go outdoors as well.
Make sure you check out the rest of the action for the FIM World Hard Enduro Championships. It's going to be absolutely mind-blowing. And of course, Graham Jarvis will be taking on the likes of Wade Young, who we're going to catch up with later on in the show. But first, let's go and catch up with one of SA's finest, Fabienne Lanz. I'm very excited to introduce our first guest for Season 2, Episode 1, Fabienne Lanz, arguably one of South Africa's finest racing drivers. And I say that in both the female and male sense of things, because she takes on the best in the country as well as the best in the world. Fabienne, great to have you here on ESA.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Now, I didn't really give you a big intro because I wanted to really get into the nitty-gritty of what you're doing. You're one of SA's finest drivers, but you're, of course, also one of the only women in the country who owns their own racing team.
Yes, that's correct. It's a very rare thing to see a woman competing against a man-dominated industry. It's not a male-only industry, but then again, another thing to be the only woman-owned team as well.
I tell you, it's exciting to see that, because what I've seen in the past is that a couple of ladies have come and gone and they've done incredible things in motorsport. You've stuck around for a long, long time. I was telling the crew just before we got into the studio how long I've been commentating on Fabienne Lanz. I mean, literally since you were a youngster in cadets, you've made your way through and become a synonymous name in South African motorsport.
Thank you very much. I think it's a bit easier or less difficult, if I can put it that way, coming from a racing family. So my dad used to race as well. So that does make the pathway a little bit less difficult, if I can put it that way. But what we're obviously trying to do now is with the racing team is to promote more women in motorsport and create diversity, because we want every person of color to be introduced and given the opportunity to actually be exposed to motor racing, because it is for everyone.
I love the fact that you brought the diversity in, because the diversity in your team is probably the best in the country. You have a person of every single color and almost every single creed and race as well represented for your team.
Yes, very much so. And it's so nice to learn the different cultures and the backgrounds and experiencing all the different sort of psychology that goes with that, and how you have to hone the children each individually different. So over the 10 years that I've had the team, I've become like a mini psychologist at the same time.
It's important in sport like this because, I mean, you take into account the amount of training you do to be an athlete at the level that you've got to, winning 2020's karting championships and of course, representing South Africa at the World Karting Championships as well. It's incredible to see how much time and effort gets put into the training side of things and how little time gets put into the psychology of the sport.
Very much so. So it's a very much a mental sport as well. So it's a mind over matter with many things. When your physique is a bit challenged and you're not as fit, your mind gets tired and you start making mistakes. And then also it's quite social, because kids need to interact with each other and things like that. So we ban iPads and phones and things like that because we want the kids to socialize. At the same time, it becomes an individual activity as well, because when they're racing, they compete for themselves. And then that's where the psychology comes in. And with the different background and cultures, you now got to make them understand that when we're racing, because like some kids would be like, I can't make an overtaking maneuver like that. That's not what a gentleman would do.
Yes.
And then we say, but nice guys don't win. The aim is about winning. It's not about being mean to that person. You got to be fair, and you got to be a sportsman, but you got to also keep your goal in mind, and that's winning.
What are the plans for 2021?
So currently we're defending the title, or trying to defend it. It's been a difficult start to the year because I had an accident in the last round of last year where I fractured my rib. I didn't know that on the day, but 2 days later I thought something's not good, because I had a lap 2 heat 1 collision, and I thought, you know, cowboys don't cry. You want to win this championship. Cowgirls. You want to win this championship, it's yours to take. Go get it, and just, you know, suck it up and go. Yeah. And then 2 days later we went for x-rays, and then they were quite surprised as to how healthy and how good my lungs were, because it punctured the lung as well.
Wow.
And of course with COVID you don't want to go to hospital.
Sure.
So for 2 weeks I sat or lay down and did nothing and recovered from that. But it has its challenges, you know. Sure. It comes and goes, there's better days, there's worse days, so you got to sort of play with it. But the last round we had at Idubi, which was end of June.
Yes.
That one turned out good. It's, I think the competitors already know when we go to Idubi, it's going to be hard to beat Fabienne, because somehow me and that track just gel.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to wish you all the very best for 2021, and thank you so
you
much for joining us as our first guest for season 2.
Thank you.
Up next, of course, we're going into fall through. We just spoke about things going wrong in a kart. Let's find out exactly what can go wrong on other extreme sports when they don't quite work out according to plan. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out! Oh man, you can see sometimes it just doesn't go right, does it? That's all our fall throughs for this week. Unbelievable to see that. But if you want to be part of fall throughs, make sure you interact with us on social media. It's esatv.co.za. Get onto the submit column and tag us in all of your videos, because we're looking forward to putting some of your videos up here on ESA. Up next, we're going into the upcoming events. Let's go and see what's going to be happening in the next couple of weeks. Arguably, the most exciting time coming up in the upcoming events has got to be the return of the X Games. On the 14th to the 18th of July, X Games makes a welcome return to the home of X Games in Southern California. And you'll be able to check out all the action from BMX, skateboarding, freestyle motocross, world rallycross, and any of the extreme sports that we cover here on ESA. They'll be taking part with the return of X Games, and all of those athletes looking for X Game gold. The World Rally Championship makes its 7th stop of the season of 2021 into the forests of Estonia. And man, we are looking so forward to bringing you all of that action, because the World Rally Championship is on a knife edge right now, and anybody can take it in terms of that championship. So let's go and have a look and see exactly what we're looking forward to in World Rally Championship.
Out of Africa, back into Europe. Next stop for the WRC, round 7, Estonia, fresh from its successful debut in the championship last year. Population less than 1.5 million, many of them rally lovers, just like the neighbours across the sea in Finland. And proud to host the biggest motorsport event in the Baltics. September 2020, Oitanak celebrates a maiden victory for Hyundai. Special for the reigning world champion in front of his own fans. Special for those involved in staging Estonia's promotion to the WRC, and special for the sport itself. This was World Rally's comeback after 6 months of lockdown, half a season lost to the global pandemic. For a long time, no one knew how, if or when competition would resume. But when the WRC did at last return, it did so in style. A thrilling debut event on Estonia's ultra-fast stages, Tanak's emphatic victory, the icing on the cake.
No doubt it feels very good. The pressure was definitely there, and there was maybe even more than I anticipated. I've been here before, but first time WRC, first time, let's say, for myself to come here with the Hyundai in a new team, new colors. So to put all this package together, you know, we knew that we definitely have to finish. We have to get the points. We have to win.
And win they did, a 1-2 no less. Craig Breen, runner-up behind Tanak. The Irishman once again part of Hyundai's lineup for Estonia this year, and if anything, winning this time is even more imperative. No shortage of speed or performance from the I-20, but a rocky first half of the campaign all the same. Estonia at least sees a switch from the rough terrain of recent events to much smoother, more flowing gravel tracks. Oitanak very much at home in every sense, with a great opportunity to set about leading Hyundai's comeback at a new look, uprated Estonia.
This year Estonia will be a bit longer. Last year it was like a sprint event, COVID style, so now this year we will have more mileage, some new stages, and probably it will be a high-speed challenge. I also know that the organizers are building actually some new roads, so there will be some handmade roads and probably some more jumps as well.
As I mentioned, both those events conclude on the 18th of July, and if you want to check out more of that action, get onto ESA and onto the Extreme Sport Action TV.co.za website and check out exactly all the results of what went down at X Games and the World Rally Championship. Up next, we head into the interview with Wade Young. Remember his name. His name is Wade Young. He's arguably one of SA's finest two-wheel combatants and arguably one of the world's finest two-wheeled riders as well. And we checked him coming out of KwaZulu-Natal, his home territory, to burst onto the scene in 2012 and become the youngest winner of the Roof of Africa. Let's make sure that you don't mess out and miss out on who Wade Young is and what he's got to prove for SA and the world.
So 2020 was a strange year, strange for everyone. It was nice in the beginning to have a bit of a break, but then affected the whole season. You know, it's just getting a bit long now. It'd be nice to get back racing. But yet again, it also gives you some opportunity to improve your game, give you time to focus on different points, on your weaknesses in the racing. So it has been good in a sense. I did have 1 or 2 injuries. I had a shoulder, my shoulder kept popping out. So I had some time to heal that up. I had some back pain. Sometimes I do an 80k cycle. And then when I go riding in the bush, I'll go for 3 hours and I'll just play around. I'll find one step or one like splat or something and I'll do it 10 times. And I'll do it and I'll think about how I can do it better. So I mix it up. I also do a bit of running. Yeah, I just try to keep it fresh and not just the same repetitive things. You know, in a race, there's so many things that can go wrong, and just planning how to adapt to all these things and being at a race also helps because you kind of know what happens, like the ropes, and some of the races have the same hard sections. Yeah, look, every race I go in with the vision to win. Some of them suit me a bit better than others, but the goals are always the same. I try to eat healthy. Biggest downfall is sweets, so I've got a very big sweet tooth. Before a race and during a race, I eat beetroot and potatoes and a little bit of tuna. It's not really the most ideal thing, but it's a lot of energy directly. So I have Red Bull before like a 10-minute high intensity prologue race. I don't have any pre-race superstitions, but I do pray every time I ride. I became aware of extreme enduro in 2012. That's when I started. I was old enough to race the Roof of Africa, which is South Africa's biggest race, extreme race. I think my favorite race is Earthsburg. It's just such an intense, dramatic, it's very short, challenging, and I haven't been on the podium yet, so I think it's the biggest challenge for me at the moment.
What an incredibly humble young man, and certainly someone to watch out for in the future. And speaking of finding out of what to watch, let's go and find out exactly what to watch. Come with us now as we head onto the slopes, the trails, the tracks, the surf, the snow, you name it. Any terrain that an extreme athlete is about to push the envelope in terms of their ability and the tricks that they can perform, courtesy of Monster Energy's Come With Us series. It's your chance to go and have a look at exactly what these athletes do to train harder, to push themselves past that envelope I spoke about, and to ensure that they bring you something that is pretty spectacular. There's 6 episodes of this coming up in our season. We're looking forward to bringing to you how we unleash the beast.
Come with us. The new generation. The next level. Sending it big.
You're in for a good run. Let's go.
Come with us to the track, to the trails, to the slopes, to the surf, to the fight, to the race.
Look at this.
To the 4 a.m. starts, training harder, pushing further. hitting back, hard. To the fans, to the followers, and the haters. Come with us to the blood, to the sweat, and the broken bones. You rehab. We'd never quit. We'd never give up. We'd take control. To the world titles. To the world's first. The world's best. Come with us. We're just getting started.
It's going to be so much fun, I promise you.
To watch all 6 of those Unleash the Beast episodes and come with us, make sure you get onto esatv.co.za and you can just hit the play button and watch all of those episodes. Up next though, it is time for Turnout. This is where the tricks were dialed in and everything worked perfectly. We love it when the tricks get all dialed in and work out perfectly, and we want to see all of you putting those tricks together as well. So make sure you submit your videos on esatv.co.za on the submit so we can put them onto Turnout, and you guys can become famous here on ESA. That's the end of the show. We certainly hope you enjoyed Season 2's Episode 1. It's amazing to be here and a big privilege and honor to be part of this team. We're looking forward to seeing all your submissions on our social media handles, and make sure you check out all the results of what's been happening in the world of extreme sport action. From myself, Greg Maloney, the voice of choice. Take care then. Bye-bye now.